Let's get into the dailies that we have for today. And we're going to start with the daily graphic. Lots of papers this morning to get us right into it. Now we have the daily graphic, and on the front page it says, protect, invest in public media. This is coming from the Speaker of Parliament. We also have GIA graphic, sensitize public to importance of insurance. And then we have Beyond Matters Day, address human rights abuses. Reverend Opuni Frimpong tells lawyers. Now, safeguard democratic traditions and institutions. This is Dr. Mwako to the nation. And the Office of Registrar of Companies extends deadline for the filing of annual returns and renewals to September.
All right, so on the Ghanaian Times, we have at the 2023 Joseph Siao Ejipong Distinguished Lecture on Public Health. Stakeholders call for increased financial support to address NCDs. Government presents 4 million Ghana cedis cocoa products to support earthquake victims in Turkey. Launch of fourth presidential pitch. 25 to compete for 2.5 million Ghana cedis. Young entrepreneurs to pitch business ideas for funding. Preventing tragic deaths in boat disasters. GNAT advocates equipping island teachers with swimming skills. Presents 251 life jackets to members. And that's what we have for the Ghanaian Times.
All right. Now I have the finder, but before we go to that, let me just a story on the back page of the headline on the back page of the daily graphic. It says here, 2023 fishing season closed. And, you know, it's important for us to have regulated, fishing on our shores, because there's a lot of overexploitation of our resources. Yeah. And you'll find that at a certain point, at a certain time in the season, now all the fish you get are the tiny, tiny ones, because there's not enough time for them to grow to adulthood, and so on. So, yeah. Anyway, the Finder newspaper has these headlines. It says, MPP inaugurates presidential election vetting committee. NAT headquarters donates 251 life jackets to teachers. We have 2022 RTI report presented to Parliament, and Ghana needs a 25-year plan of action backed by national consensus to propel long-term development. This is coming from Dr. Kingsley Amwako. And Dr. Akoto begins nationwide campaign tour today. So those are some of the headlines. And this is on the Finder newspaper.
And on the Daily Guide, we have Bahumia Alankash at vetting today. Government averts doomsor. NDC marks Professor Mills' 10 years anniversary. Ghana gets accreditation service law. Let's use public funds judiciously, and that's by Dr. Amoa.
All right. The Chronicle, these headlines are here. It says, Mahama drops fiery hint of restoring Republic Day as a public holiday. Bizline partners NIEP for a 6-month acceleration program. We have a Free Akoto begins nationwide campaign tour. And RTI law has been given teeth to bite. This is coming from Kojo Pon Nkrumah. And the scripture on the front page of the Chronicle for today says, Luke chapter 12, verse 2. But there's nothing covered up that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. For the Lord God does nothing without revealing his secret to his servants, the prophets.
All right, so on the Informer here, the big one here, after shamefully running away from SP job, Bita Amidu attacks Kisi Ajabing over Frimpong Boating. In this issue, ban on fishing, Minister urges collaboration. Doomso averted. Ata Achia assures public IPPs to be paid soon. Aftermath of by-elections, don't bastardize EC, Commission urges stakeholders. Minority Chief Whip GBA in Tango. And lastly, we have here, absolve nurses to avoid max exodus, GMA tells government. And that's what we have for the Informer.
All right. The Energy Digest has these headlines. It says 8 SOEs in the energy sector owe $2.4 billion US dollars. This is coming from Oreku Edu. We have here MPA to roll out cylinder recirculation in Accra and Kumasi despite opposition. Ghana's energy security remains our topmost priority. This is coming from the energy minister to some investors. And Energy Media Group calls for nominations as it launches seventh Ghana Energy Awards in Accra. And Energy Digest grabs award at Maiden Think Energy SDG Awards. Okay.
All right, so on the Metro lens here, we have Dr. Sam Ankra urges review of Ghana's failing 1992 constitution. Dr. Tom Asise throws hat in the ring for 2024 presidential race. Alan Tremonti kicks off public cluster delegates meeting ahead of vetting committee. Palgrave receives prestigious Excellence Communicator in Governance Award. And lastly, we have Joseph Sia Ejapon delivers inspiring lecture on public health, urges action on NCDs. And that's what we have for the Metro Lens paper.
All right, I have the New Publisher. And on the front page of the New Publisher, it says, Judge wants Quayson freed, calls the Kufuor and AG. Wontubi denies Galamsey deals with Charles Opoku. And police hunts Hunter's killer. Police hunts Hunter's killer. And 71,500 grab YEA jobs. Those are the headlines on the front page of the New Publisher.
All right, so on the Inquisitor, the big one here is Payne Amidu pisses again. Sam George mocks Charles Opoku. Energy Digest wins award. Bust boss on Africa's most respected CEO's map. Mangote writes, peaceful Eid al-Adha. It was at Boku. And that's what we have for the Inquisitor paper.
I don't understand your first headline.
Which one? Pained Amidu pisses again.
Yeah, anyway, sometimes we like sensationalism too much in the headlines that we choose. The wording of the headline.
The word is the word, yeah.
It's like, why? Okay, anyway. The BNFT. All right, so we have a few headlines here, quite a few headlines here. I'll do a couple of them. It says here, GCB receives shareholder support to raise 1 billion Ghana cedis in addition to, in additional equity capital. It says here, economic transformation stalls despite years of growth, as set president. Stakeholders call for more financial support to address NCDs, non-communicable diseases. This was at the lecture 2023 Joseph Sia Ejapon Distinguished Lecture on Public Health. And we have GRA impounds 3 container trucks for tax evasion, and mid-year budget must give tax breaks. GNCCI says ports are too expensive. These and other headlines on the front page of the BNFT.
All right, so my last paper here is the Republic Press, and the big one here is Amidu attacks OSP again. Alan Bahumia face NPP vetting. Peace Council smoke peace pipe in Ajinasari Nogokbo fight. Woo, finally.
But the question, okay, you finish.
All right. Eastern region, suspected thief lynched at Sohom. 2023 closed season for fishing starts. Democracy indeed works in Ghana. Gabi reacts to Asin North Pole outcome.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering about the Nokoko story.
Yeah.
Whether both sides, both parties were there. Because I know the Peace Council went there, to meet the chiefs. But whether Ajinasari or representatives of Ajinasari were also there as well, I don't know.
Probably a representative.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the story is there. It's on the paper, so you can go and read it on the Republic Press. We have a few stories as well on citinewsroom.com. MPP presidential race. Baumia Alan to be vetted today. On some trending stories, we have Kufuor to commission redeveloped Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. National Road Safety Authority worried over surge in road crashes involving burst tires. You heard about that one that happened this weekend, yeah? And I think that for me, the apparent obliviousness of drivers to the fact that your car is a machine.
Yes.
There are different components in this machine. Any of the components can fail at any time because it's a machine. Okay, even if it was a brand new machine, the potential is there.
True.
The probabilities are less, but your cars, a lot of the trucks they are driving out 20 years and older. Do you get it? So how they even manage to drive at the kind of speeds that they do,
it's shocking.
you know, it's outrageous. Of course you will not have any control over the vehicle if something happens. Do you see? So I don't know. Yeah, and I think we need to just bring the hammer down really, really hard. See, one of the challenges we have, and I'm probably will talk about this later in the show, but when a bad incident hasn't happened, we don't seem to have what it takes to bite and to make the laws really bite. You see, it's like, oh, yeah, but nothing happened.
So basically we react after.
And then we react.
Yeah, we react after like the deed is done.
Oh my goodness, he was driving so fast. He shouldn't have been. Then we'll come and we'll be giving advices and admonishments. Yeah, I mean, seriously, let's grow up. If somebody does what is wrong, unless we're saying speeding is not wrong, right? But the speeds that people drive in Accra, people are driving over 100 kilometers an hour in town. Meanwhile, the law says 80.
True. 80
in town. But people are doing well over 100, sometimes 120 and beyond in town because they can. Nobody's going to catch them. After all, who's catching them? You see, and so for me, National Road Safety Authority, in collaboration with the police, honestly, I mean, we need to be harder and harsher.
And when it comes to the commercial vehicles, especially the trotro, like I feel like they don't even know these rules. You know?
Oh, they do. They know the rules.
I feel like they don't know the rules because it's just
the rules as in no. You see, here's the thing, Chris. I think that people, well, yes, there are a lot of people who don't know the rules because they circumvented the driving school system.
Exactly.
Right? They get trained by the master in the backyard on a Sakura Park over the weekend. A few weekends, he starts to drive. He said, "Look, it's weekend. Take the car and go and come." You know, and then that's how it starts, right? But I think that there's that. But then there's also the people that know the rules and know that they will get away with it because nobody will do anything to them. Do you get it? And that's also another problem. And we have to figure out how to deal with this and deal with it properly. Harshly. Mm-hmm. You know, if people know that nothing's going to happen, they're not afraid, though. That's my issue. But I'm not afraid. Anyway, yeah, so go to citinewsroom.com for more of your credible news updates. Okay, citybusinessnews.com is our business news website. And then, of course, Citi Sports Online is our sports website as well. And then, of course, we have Ghana Weekend full of entertainment as well. All these websites are available to you. All right, we have sports next. Don't go anywhere. Sports Review. All right. Now it's time for some updates on sports. We have here transfer news. Now Liverpool have completed the signing of Dominic Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig for £60 million, with the midfielder signing a 5-year contract until 2028. Now, I'm particularly excited about this one. Now, Newcastle had also been interested in the 22-year-old midfielder, but once Szoboszlai made clear his desire to move to Anfield, it removed all other interested parties from the equation. Now, Szoboszlai underwent a medical on Merseyside on Saturday and Sunday, and subject to a work permit, he will become Liverpool's second signing of the summer after the arrival of Alexis McAllister from Brighton for an initial £35 million. Now, some tennis news. Wimbledon 2023 gets underway today with defending men's singles champion Novak Djokovic opening proceedings on center court. Now, Djokovic, seeking a record-equaling 8th men's title at Wimbledon, faces Argentina's Pedro Cachin this afternoon. Now, following Djokovic on center court is an eye-catching contest between 5-time champion Venus Williams, who is appearing in the women's single at Wimbledon for the 24th time at the age of 43. And in 2019 semi-finalist Elena Svitolina. Now, defending women's champion Iga Swiatek will start her campaign against Zulin at midday. Now, Wimbledon championships will run from the 3rd of July to the 16th of July. And yeah, with that we come to the end of the sports review this morning. Now,